Well, welcome to day 2 of the 21 days of goals, where together, you and I are walking through this book, Goals by Tracy, and we are doing it one chapter at a time. I want you to remember, this process isn't just about reading, it's about building a commitment in the year ahead. And also, if you miss a day, it's not the end of the world, but you do need to go start over. If you're accepting the challenge, you need to go start over, because I wouldn't view it as a punishment. I would look at it as a way to build resilience and consistency. So if this is your 3rd time, 8th time, 15th time watching video 2, welcome back. You are building perseverance. Well, today we're diving into chapter 2, which is take charge of your life. Take charge of your life. And it is packed with lessons and insights. But one of the ones that I found the most value in is on page 18. Tracy says, the greatest enemies of success and happiness are negative emotions of all kinds. Negative emotions hold you down, tire you out, and take away the joy in life. Maybe you're feeling like this. A lot of times when we go to lock in our goals, a lot of the pre-work is getting our mindset right. And getting our mindset right is taking inventory of these negative emotions. Now, he identifies 5 negative emotions on the next page, and here they are: fear, self-pity, envy, jealousy, and anger. Those are the 5 emotions. Do you see yourself struggling with some of these? Sometimes your focus is hijacked by one of these emotions coming to the surface. Well, that's what I like about the next section, where Tracy gets really practical. He says there's a root cause behind these emotions, and he gives us 4. He gives us justification, rationalization, hypersensitivity, and blaming. Those are the 4 that he points out. But for this video, I want to focus on one that resonated with me, which was rationalization. It's so easy to fall into this trap, especially when you really feel tired or you feel frustrated. Tracy explains it like this. He says, you rationalize to explain away or to put into a favorable light something that you've done that you feel bad or unhappy about. We kind of go on this rationalization safari, easing in, seeing, oh, it's not my fault, it's their fault. I'm looking for whose fault it is, because it's certainly not my fault. In other words, we tell ourselves stories to avoid facing uncomfortable truths instead of doing what we should have done, which is taking responsibility. Instead of doing that, we shift the blame to someone or something else, and that is unhealthy. But here's the good news. The antidote is clear. Accepting complete responsibility for your situation is the way we overcome these negative emotions. This makes me think of the difference between a windshield and a rearview mirror. Have you ever noticed the windshield is much bigger in your car than the rearview mirror is? And there's a reason for that. You can't drive safely if you're constantly staring at what's behind you. That's exactly what we do when we focus on past mistakes, or when we blame others, or when we dwell on opportunities that we've missed along the way. No, to move forward, you got to take your eyes off the rearview mirror and move it towards the windshield. You've got to be looking at what's ahead. So to do that, you need to ask yourself, what's in your control? Well, I know 2 things that are. Number 1 is how you spend your time today. And number 2 is how you plan for the future. So here's my point. Focus on the road ahead and only glance at the road behind you. Focus on the road ahead. Don't remain staring in your rearview mirror. That's what gives your negativity a chance to take control of the wheel. All right, at the end of chapter 2, we've got our section right here that has our actionable questions and actionable steps and everything you can use to put into practice what we've been learning. So here's the one that I want you to focus on. It's number 1. Identify the biggest problem or source of negativity in your life today. In what ways are you responsible for this situation? That's a tough question to think about. In what ways are you responsible for this situation? Now, for me, one of the biggest sources of negativity is getting caught in unproductive conversations. These are conversations that go in circles but actually have no outcome. And it's easy for me to blame others for dragging me into conversations like this, but the truth is I need to take responsibility. I need to realize that I have the power to step away or redirect the conversation towards something productive. I don't have to get trapped in those conversations. I can make a conscious decision to take action, implement what I learned here, and not get stuck in negative thoughts when I feel like things aren't going anywhere. So what about you? What's your biggest source of negativity? And then I want you to think, how are you contributing to it? And then you can follow that up with what action can you take to overcome it? And I want you to take a moment today and I want you to think about that. So as we wrap up day 2, it's important to remember that in the early days, it's exciting to read. It's exciting to go through chapter 1, 2, 3, 5. Those early times you're learning a lot, but it's going to get harder. It's going to get harder. That's why I'm going to encourage you to be consistent and build this into your daily routine. Whether that means you're reading during your morning coffee or during your lunch break or at night before you go to bed, whatever you need to do, build in consistency because that's what's going to carry you through the tough days. And I believe you got this. I believe it's going to be worth it reading through all 21 days. Well, I'll see you back here tomorrow for day 3. Let's keep moving forward.